He left me a voicemail. I don't have a missed call.
All right.
It says.
You ready, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody would please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Dear Lord, thank you for your many blessings and for your care over us. We ask that you keep our students and our employees and your watch care, keep them in a place where they can learn and excel and to grow in that. Would you be with us tonight as we make our decisions for our schools? In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Chris McKinney,
Here.
Chris Satterfield.
Here.
Carla Willis,
Here.
Skip Willis, Terry Warning.
Here.
All five are here.
All right, an executive session was held on September 23rd, 2025, and no other subject matter was discussed in the executive session other than the subject matter that was specified in the public notice. So with that, we'll move to approval of minutes from the regular meeting of 2026, budget hearing of September 9th, 2025, and the executive session of September 23rd, 2025.
I move to approve. I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on those? Not all in favor, raise your hand. All right. Review of finances. Recommend approval of claims.
Following numbers are in the voucher packet for your approval. Voucher 21052 through 21246. And we can treat it as a separate item, but following the printed voucher list that you have before you are the list of interfund transfers between the GO Bond 2025 fund to the operations fund for your approval as well. And again, you can do those together or separately.
I make a motion, we approve the vouchers and the interfund transfers. There's a motion and a second. Any questions on those? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Review of fund reports.
We start with the bank reconciliation. At German American Bank, we have a balance of $3,207,194.42. Home Building has a balance of $167,602.55. The combined total in the banks are $3,374,796.97. Following that page are the bank reconciliation statements. Do you have any questions about the bank statements?
I do not.
No.
Okay. Then we move on into the fund reports. So currently, the balance in the education fund is a negative $167,123. Debt service is a negative $314,564. Operations is $1,580,966. Rainy day is $78,322. The GO bonds of 19 are $57,084. The GO bonds of 2025 are $1,772,980. The remaining funds are listed there for your review. That page is followed by the revenue report, and then followed by the appropriation report for a status update of where we are at this time with our appropriations in the year. We also have in the packet the athletic credit card statement for your review and the Sam's Club credit card statement. Then we have our cash flow projections for the education fund, the operation fund, the rainy day, the GO bond 19, the GO bond 2025, and the affidavit page for the 2024 bonds, which is the vocational building projects, the primary remaining project that's left from that one. You have questions for any of the transactions or financial sheets?
Just the transfer that we just approved was to square up the balances that we already have in the negative. Okay, that's all I have. Anybody else? Not, we'll go to recommend approval of transfer resolution.
So the transfer resolution is before you, and essentially it is to transfer amounts from the operation fund to the education fund for the calendar year of 2025. The amount will not exceed $1,700,000 in that transfer, and we are waiting on one invoice to have the exact final amount, which I can email you as soon as it comes in. But again, it will not exceed the 1.7 million.
I make a motion to approve the transfer resolution.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor, raise your hand. Adoption of the 2026 budget, adoption of the capital projects plan, and adoption of the bus replacement plan.
So the primary amounts for the budget, the debt service, we're asking you to adopt a budget of $2,051,650 and a tax levy of $2,217,460 with a tax rate of 0.3348. Education fund budget $15,363,705. No levy, no tax rate for that fund. Operations, $10,581,467. Tax levy of $7,995,785, and a tax rate of 1.2072, making our total budget proposal for 2026 $27,996,822. A tax levy of $10,213,245, and a tax rate of 1.5020. The following pages do lay out the bus replacement plan and a list of capital projects that we will work on as funding becomes available. But essentially, they all have to be listed separately on the agenda because the state still asked when we adopt it, even though those two funds no longer exist really. They're in the operations. I think it's where the legislative language hasn't caught up yet.
I make a motion that we adopt the budget and the bus replacement and capital projects plan.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on that? Not all in favor, raise your hand. I just told you we did it. Okay. Where are we at here? Patron comments.
There's none.
No patron comments. Old business, recommend approval of athletic fundraiser.
So last month, there was a little bit of discussion over the fundraiser request for athletics to offer a half pot at various games and events. In order to do so, they need to get a gaming license. And again, we had some discussion on it. Our attorney did confirm that essentially this would be the officers. It does not have to necessarily be all five of you if it's approved.
That I make a motion that we approve the gaming license.
I second
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that?
it. Yeah, I don't want to be on that ever.
Okay. Get that noted. All right, with that, all in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Just abstaining?
Yep.
Okay. All right. That, we move to new business, recommend acceptance of donations. We're back on old business.
No, that was it.
Okay. Was it? Okay. I was gonna, we didn't put it in there on the agenda for this month for the, we're waiting to have the meeting with the outlaw.
Yeah.
It's down here. Okay. Okay. So, all right, recommend acceptance of donations.
Okay, we have for Petersburg Elementary, a $1,000 donation from the Mary Ellen Teen Fund to be used towards purchasing books for the library. We have a donation at Pike Central Middle School from Shirley Crecilius in the amount of $300 for Mason's General Store. We have the following donations from the Community Foundation accounts: $960 for PC Swim Team, $2,124 for PC Music and Choral Departments from the Tiffany Fisher Tomford account, $1,660 for PC Swing Choir and Theater from the Vance and Sherry Hayes account. We also have a donation of $1,000 from AES for PC Green Power. We have a donation of $1,585 from First Robotics to be applied towards Pike Central High School robotics team. We have the following donations for Pike Central High School Athletic Department. Dr. Giesler, $500, Pike Collision, $500, Beelman Truck Company, $500, Calarita, $500. We have the following donations for Pike Central PE Department T-shirt sponsor, Calarita, $100. Donation towards Pike Central High School Guidance Department, Pike Collision, $200. For the Athletic Department, Ripco, $2,500. For high school, Pike Central High School FFA, Tatum and Tristan Scholar, $200. For the Athletic Department of Pike Central, Stella Jones Corporation, $500, and Dustin Schneer, $500. Pike Central FFA, donation from Pike County Farm Bureau in the amount of $1,350. Donation to Pike Central High School Guidance Department from Spurgeon Methodist Church in the amount of $100. Otwell United Methodist Church, $100. O.D. Harrison Sons Funeral Home, $200. For the Athletic Department from First Federal Savings Bank, amount of $500 donation. From the high school, donation to the High School Guidance Department, Cut Creek General Baptist Church in the amount of $100. And from Patoka Grove Church in the amount of $500. We have a donation of $250 from the Crane Credit Union from their Spirit cards. That's all the donations. That's a lot.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve and big thanks.
I'll second.
Absolutely.
A motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Recommend approval of fundraisers.
We have a request from the Athletic Department to sell the world's finest chocolate candy bars through the month of November and December. And middle school is doing their annual Raise Right gift card fundraiser through November and December as well. Winslow, has a fundraiser they're requesting. It would go along with the February canned food drive. It is specifically cereal drive, so accepting donations of cereal.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept that we approve the fundraisers. So, a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Let's see here. Recommend approval of the 2026-2027 school calendar.
Okay, I asked them to try and expedite this a little bit because I know there's a lot of places that need to have the information by December as they get ready for the next year. The basic framework that we're asking you to approve, the first day of school student day would be August 12th. Fall break would be October 19th through 23rd. Thanksgiving is a 3-day break, November 25th through 27th. End of first semester would be December 18th. We would resume school on January 4th. We have built-in snow days on February 12th and 15th. Spring break would be March 22nd to 26th. The end of second semester, last day of school would be May 27th. We would still have flex days or some other possible days that might need to be built in. Tentatively, our parent-teacher conference would be October 7th, and the spring early release one would be March 10th, but we would have to finalize the dates for grading periods and make sure that falls properly. It's pretty close to Du Bois County's schedule.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
A motion.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just wondered if they set graduation, will it be the end of that? There won't be that big week long thing, or maybe you haven't decided.
So we haven't decided yet. With
Okay.
it stopping in the middle of the week, we could more likely go back to the Friday. It's when we have to go to school on Friday to graduate that night is a lot. Especially when we do 8-semester recognition for like salutatory and valedictorian, trying to get everything in and make sure that we
I see.
haven't messed up our calculations or made an error. So,
All right, just curious.
So we have
That
a-
is something we could, I'm sorry.
No.
It is something we could ask, we could check with the high school and try and get that ironed out. Definitely before the school year starts, but we can try and get that ironed out early.
We had a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Recommend approval of contractor for the vocational building project.
So we had our bid opening on October 2nd. I sent you a copy of the tabulation, who had bidded, how much they bidded, and for me, one of the important parts was also the timeline for completion. Most of them were pretty close to the 180-day mark. Then Hafer did review everything, make sure all the paperwork, certifications, everything's in order. So the low bid, and they did confirm it is an accurate bid, was Seifert.
Yeah, Seifert.
Seifert, $2,585,000. Timeline for completion is 180 days. The add-on alternatives from exterior concrete work, exterior fencing gate, power washing the exterior, and the fire alarm to the main building. Accepting all of those alternate brings it up to $2,679,600. That's still low bid, and it's under budget. So I am recommending, and Eric, whom you've met at the meetings here, is also recommending we accept that bid.
It's important to note that this has not been, that vocation building has been touched.
Has been touched since.
1983 when it was built.
I make a motion that we approve Seifert
I'll second.
move forward with it. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? If not, all in favor, raise your hand. Recommend approval of Old Petersburg Gym boiler work.
So the boiler is down. Going into winter, we're gonna need it for practices. We have the alternative school over there as well. It's been a little bit challenging to get some folks in to look at it and give us a reasonable estimate. Of course, it's 33 years old, I think. So we are looking probably very close between that. Doesn't make sense to repair it or replace it. HFI came in really good, seemed very knowledgeable about the repair. Said they did not feel like it would exceed the $22,400. They were very confident of that. Even though the paperwork had that about the extra section cost, they did not feel like they were going to find that many surprises. However, if we choose to go ahead and replace it because of its age, then RG Mechanical had the best one at $56,900. We do have the appropriations available in the rainy day fund that could be used for replacement of the boiler if you chose to go replace instead of repair.
Max, what's the company on that one? The boiler?
It's a Wells McLean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion. We have RG Mechanical install a new boiler.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? My only discussion would be that moving forward, either way we go, this thing's 33 years old.
Yes.
If we're going to repair it and looking at 20,000, how many Band-Aids are we going to fix?
Exactly.
I mean,
That was,
what's your recommendation?
well, that was the thing that they all said, they said we could, I felt most comfortable with HFI because the guy quoting it and looked at it is, for one, he's 60 years old, and that's kind of been his thing. He's done boilers. He said we could repair it, but he said, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that a year from now that you don't have another leak.
Mm-hmm.
He said, the Vanderburgh County Highway Department has one that they've just done some repair on, and one of the Catholic churches also, they've done repairs on, same type boiler, same brand. And he said, he didn't think there would be a lot of section issues, but there's some rings that where those sections go together. He said typically that's where they leak, but there's really no way of knowing what's leaking until we take the whole shell off of it and fill it up and put it under pressure. Then we can tell where the leaks are at. And so, and they all said that. They they said, we can't guarantee that we fix it, that it don't leak down the road, And so I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money to replace it, but
But we
still,
can
yeah,
get 30 years out of the new one compared to 33 out of the old one.
and the efficiency, I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna gain some efficiency, so you save some money there. And I'm working on, kind of spill the beans, but we've already gonna get some rebates on the vocational building. Me and Henry with Hafer have worked on those with Centerpoint. So we're gonna get some stuff. We're not sure how much it's gonna be yet. And then with the boiler project at Winslow, I've worked on it with Ohio Valley Gas. I've got it in. I haven't heard anything back yet, but we will do the same thing with this. We would, submit for rebates if there's any available. That kind of is left up to, our provider, our gas and stuff. But we'll certainly do those things to try to help with the cost. But
Did you feel like the RG Mechanical is comparable in his knowledge?
yeah, I mean, Matt Gasser, that he owns RG. I mean, he was with Huntingburg Machine Works, and he kind of grew up with boilers too. And his section prices, his repair price, I felt like got kind of high to the point that, he was forcing the issue that you replace it, because, I'm saying his section price was a lot higher than HFI's, but as far as total replacement, he's the cheapest. And his quote is, I don't know how old, I can't remember the dates, but at the time he quoted it, there was one available. So we're hoping that we can still get one in a timely fashion and get it in, We've got some time. I think we'll, have some time, but.
Well, we had a motion in a second. All in favor, raise your hand. All right. Okay, recommend approval of the PC elevator work.
Okay. So we know this has been out about 15 months, getting real close to 18 months. It is an issue. Of course, anyone who needs to go down to the lower D wing can go outside the building. That's just not real practical. So the elevated, which of course it used to be Oracle, that's who we've worked with the most. Very challenging to find repair parts for them to be HD elevator. The equipment's outdated. They even talked about trying to build certain pieces to help make it work. A lot of email and site visits back and forth. They finally came up with a repair estimate of $59,610. In the process, recently this fall, we were connected with DC Elevator. They have been on site. They have offered to repair it for $49,000. They are a reliable company. Max has talked to them the most. We felt very good about what they've offered. They've also talked to us about taking over our maintenance of the elevator at a much lower rate than what we're currently paying elevated. And it's small enough on the threshold of cost, I'll be able to just go ahead and sign that or make that change. But definitely much more in our favor, we believe. So it is my recommendation to go with the repair work for DC Elevator for the amount of $49,000. And in this case, we would use the GO Bond 2019 funds.
Make a motion to go with PC.
Second
We
that.
have a motion and a second. Any discussion? How many handicap accessible children do we have this year?
We got one, definitely needs it, but we have several.
We have one, and we've made provisions for this first semester. She's doing an online class, so she doesn't have to go down to the D wing, which I think her and,
I think we have two.
oh, well, I don't know. But I was told by a teacher that provision was made that, so she doesn't have to, it's an online class or something. I don't know that to be 100% true. Dana's saying maybe not.
Well, I remember this being an issue several years ago as well. That we
Where
never,
it's constantly, it was constantly breaking down.
Yes.
We've spent a lot on the repairs all the time. And
I know there were.
sorry. But it definitely, and the replacement was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So, again, DC's been more responsive.
okay.
Since Oracle Elevated took over Oracle, and I don't know all that makeup, but I haven't had the salesman that came, that we had at least, I don't know, I lost track, 5 to 10 site visits. He would come up from Bardstown, Kentucky, then emails start back. He's left the company. Then the guy from Indy that kind of runs the show came down and assured me he was going to get stuff, and it's just been, well, I've got over 30 something emails concerning the elevator with them, and like I said, 5 to 10 site visits, and it's been very frustrating and time consuming to get a repair cost and get something going.
So you have more confidence in DC elevator than?
Well, I mean, I contacted him and he jumped right on it. I mean, and he's been emails, he responds right away. I mean, same day. And just like the other day, we worked on, agreement, so I said, I'd like to talk to you about servicing, and he shot us a price. And I mean, just stuff just came back real quick. He says he'll have the part. I don't remember what the last email said, but he would, if approved,
3 weeks.
the work would take 3 weeks. So, I mean, once he got the part, so they're doing quite a bit more than just replacing the controller. They're going to rewire. There's quite a bit of work in that quote on the elevator itself. So,
And we found them through another company that recommended them
Yeah.
to us.
Okay.
So,
and I will say, Steve Chesser from Knox County, the state inspector, has been more than great to work with on the elevator. We've got it tagged out. Once they get done, we'll have to bring him back in to inspect and then put it back in service and stuff. But he's been very good to work with, been very, easy, and understands the position we're in. So,
And Skip, yours was I couldn't hear you. Your motion was for DC, correct? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. We have a motion and a second. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. It's approved. Recommend approval of property resolutions.
So, we have, a year ago, we had some properties appraised. The former Otwell building and the property surrounding it that we own, and then the Petersburg property, which includes OPG, this building, and the soccer field. Then, as we moved through things this year, into the spring, had some more discussion. We began to talk about entertaining the idea of possibly selling the property. And to do that, we had to have 2 appraisals. And so we do now have 2 appraisals completed. Actually, the first appraisal came back and reviewed his, then the second company presented theirs. And then the next step, before we can even make anything available for sale, is that the board needs to approve a resolution to sell the school property. I've got 2 resolutions prepared, or in here for your review. That would be the property at in Otwell, listed as 1869 South State Road 257 in Otwell. And then the second one, I just listed the 211 South 12th Street rather than list the individual tracks, because just of the way the property tracks are on GIS, and we would probably have to have a new survey if someone did not buy all 3 tracks. So anyway, my thought was, if you approve the resolution, it doesn't mean you have to sell it. It doesn't, make any kind of commitment. It's just ready so that if someone does approach us and want to make an offer, we have this step out of the way. We would need to decide if you want us to use a realtor. Not that we have to decide it tonight, but if we're gonna go through a realtor with the transactions, then we need to consider who that would be, and are we looking at, in person, online, whatever. And I have mentioned to you guys, we have had several individuals express interest in Otwell, and most of them have been to the building and toured the location, and for what they're wanting to do, they're very excited.
But again, this is in no way, shape, or form
Commitment.
a commitment to selling any property.
Right.
But if we do sell it on any aspect partially, just the Otwell, say we just go with just Otwell, we still have to have this approved.
Yes.
There's really no sense separating it, is there?
Let's see it.
If we don't have if there's no commitment to sell, correct, Grant?
If you're only wanting to move on one of the properties, which is my impression is what you're wanting to do, I probably would clarify that.
Just stipulate.
Yeah, just be specific.
So
I mean, if there's no interest in proceeding with both, just be, clear.
So what, okay. So I'm thinking,
Documents.
yeah,
Yeah, so we want somebody, we want to move it to Otwell. We have approved that resolution.
yes.
But we don't have to do the Petersburg.
But we don't have to do the Petersburg, because I'm not.
I agree.
Well, I make a motion to separate these from the Outlaw of Petersburg, and I make a motion to approve the, see, what is it called? The property resolution for the Outlaw property only. That is my motion. A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand on that one. Okay. Now, since it's up here, we'll make, we got the Petersburg property. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution for Petersburg?
I'll make a motion to adopt the Petersburg one.
A motion to accept, to make a resolution adopt that resolution for the Petersburg project, or Petersburg property.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, any opposed?
I think you had a discussion.
Oh, you got this?
Is he going to say something?
No,
Oh, look like.
Okay, so we had,
I just wasn't going to vote for it.
okay, so there's 3 approved and who denies it?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have 3 accept and 2. Skip, yes, skip the vote again. Okay.
But that just has it on him, right?
Yes, that just has on hand. That still does not guarantee.
Yeah, because on the third item it says reserves the board's right to reject. So,
And I will probably come back next week, or I'll be emailing you. We've had some discussion of surplus. We have a lot of things in storage, not just at Otwell, and a few other locations as well. So I think we probably need to start getting that organized and figure out what we're gonna do.
Do you want us to go back to the realtor thing, or is that something you mentioned it?
But these places are interested, they've already toured it. Are you just?
I mean,
Is
if
it
they're
paperwork?
interested, I say let our attorney walk through the
That's kind of
thing
what I'm thinking.
and keep the realtor
Rather
out.
than give,
And then if nobody shows up, then we can always bring back next month or the month after and hire a realtor.
We can take our attorney's advice on that one.
Yes.
So,
And what we've done so far is we've accompanied them to show them or answering questions about the equipment, so.
Right.
That
We're the
part
ones
we've done.
that
Yep. So, but thank you for checking or clarifying.
all right, recommend approval of the revision to the student handbook language.
Okay. I received a message from Mrs. Keeker that asking for the amendment, instead of, the current language says you must have passing grades in 5 subjects. They're asking to amend that to 6. Is that correct, Mrs. Keeker?
That's correct.
I was like, making sure I read it the right way. And this is largely due to the fact that they have 8 classes now instead of 7.
Did you want to change?
The other one is in the high school, and it's some language that they would just like to be able to have to provide to families regarding age of majority for their 18-year-olds. This really is pretty well what we already do, that unless we know the student is already emancipated or supporting themselves, we try to make contact with the parents, but we constantly get some challenges at the school that I'm 18, I can sign myself out. And I know in most cases, 18-year-olds an adult, and that's true. We just always use the approach that if you're still living at home, call your parents. So Mr. Kokenauer, I believe actually Southwest Du Bois has this language. Our attendance officer, Jen, had found it, and she had asked him to consider bringing this to us just for some clarity when the kids are challenging her about signing themselves out.
So if approved on both of these, when will these changes to the handbook?
They would go immediately since it's online.
And then that's something that we can send these out to the parents for, okay.
Yes.
Well, I make a motion, we approve the revisions to the student handbooks on the middle school and high school.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, first reading of policy updates C450, G375, and C125.
And of course, immediately after posting the agenda, we got notice of the fall legislative update. So next month, we're gonna have about 9, maybe 10 for first reading to consider again, but you'll get that email later. So C450, when we amended the student drug testing guidelines and moved to the saliva test and the frequency of the test, that it's not the policy so much as the administrative guidelines that needed to be amended to reflect that change in order. So you have the first reading of that, which aligns with the new testing policy. Policy 375, the forms and the administrative guidelines, our use of facility. This is one that Church and Hill had provided for our review. We did not, it was the one policy we had not finalized as we did all the other updates. So we have this in here for your first reading. You can see several areas highlighted or marked already, but of course, your feedback is welcome to make any kind of adjustments to this. And then the third one is C125, which is our corporation's policy for legal settlement, including the administrative guidelines for that as well. And then the memo from the DOE, which they had in the packet along with the residency information. So again, I brought them to you for review if we're looking to make any kind of amendment to the language. I know one of the questions was that recently has surfaced was like homeschooling students or charter school students participating in school activities. And I've kind of been referred back to the legal settlement question with that. So if we're going to add a paragraph, we need to make an amendment. These would be this and the use of facility would be the ones where it applies.
Okay. And then with that, you're having a meeting this week,
Yes,
Thursday morning with,
I'll note that for the use of facility, that drug testing one we're going to do should be to go, but there's the use of facility policy.
Yeah.
I would definitely encourage you to look that over for the second read and suggest any changes, because there's things in there like the pool and event supervisor, pool supervisor, kitchen supervisor. There's a lot of facilities and services that are listed in there for a price, and I have no idea how that price compares to what we currently do or what's fair, or if we even want to offer some of those things, the theater, it's very broad and including a lot of things, so there just needs to be some work, and that's why I never put it before you. I don't really know how to stand that.
we may not want to print those out.
Right, it's for you to decide, but yeah, there's things that we don't currently, I think, make available, that are listed, maybe it's an opportunity, but that's, and I didn't want to make those calls and edit it that boldly, I guess.
Okay.
like she mentioned one example, we've always had a standing policy that if anybody asks to use the kitchen, they can't use it unless the cafeteria employee is present. So very rarely do we rent that section out. You know, again, so there are some things from our past policy or past practices that match, and there's definitely some things that are different.
Student technician for videoing.
Years
Who's gonna
ago,
coordinate that? Who's
when we
gonna?
had the Homemakers Bazaar out there, we
Arrange it.
used your kitchen.
And then
Absolutely.
regarding,
Yeah.
directly related to the issue you guys were talking about is, you'll notice the section about different groups and it breaks it down for who pays what.
And I did speak with Amy, the attorney, regarding some of the groups, and she says that was just some of their suggestions and guidelines. By all means, we can redefine any of those groups. So,
In section 6 and then 7. So it you know, takes them all in groups and then 7 associates who pays what, so. And then the list after that is for the beginners.
I think it was part of the guidelines.
Okay.
When we're talking elementary basketball, we're really only talking about the 5th grade, correct?
That's the only team that
It's
we,
the only team we have, because Charger Cub is Charger Cub, and that is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th play. So
which is under,
under a nonprofit entity, yes, and so they pay for their facilities. So my understanding is what thought, well, or homeschool or whoever, they would be nice if their 5th graders could play with our 5th graders, because in 1 year they're gonna be like central together.
So under this, under this, a youth group would be definitely, group 2 or maybe group 3. And then the charges for use says, you know, but no fees will be charged for group 1 and 2. Group 3 would only have a fee if there's an admission cost associated. So that would make any youth group using the facilities at no cost. That's where I'm saying you'll want to look and see what you want to do, you know, because it's definitely changes.
Because what I would like to see is,
But it's very specific, which is great.
Yeah.
If we can get it into place.
what I would like to see happen is that any group that we offer, if we open up the 5th grade to participate in whatever it is, swimming, basketball, whatever, if we're opening up the 5th grade to come and participate with the 6th grade, I would like to see us include OMA. That would be something that I would like to see. I'm not saying it's going to, that would be my choice. I know we got an email, something about it was, they have to be in the district. They are in our district. They're just not in our corporation.
I thought it said that they were supposed to pay tuition,
Well, that's something that we can,
that we could.
as a board, I think, can adjust.
Modify.
Yes. So.
Well,
just
It's
my
not a lot.
thoughts, I think you do have to give careful consideration to the homeschool students as well, because they also live in our county.
Yep.
And they've chosen to attend a different school, in their case, a homeschool. And, you know,
oh, so you're saying
I'm just saying,
select them
I'm
out.
just saying, don't forget, there's always a ripple effect or whatever we.
C-125's legal settlement is that only students enrolled in our school district are eligible.
But that is referring to like the 5th grade ball, right? That is referring to the Pike Central Athletics, not youth group activities.
Correct.
Yes.
Elementary.
Well,
OMA has no 5th grade basketball teams.
They,
How many students do they have in 5th grade? Or is it?
last year it was 15. I don't know.
you're having a meeting this week with
With-
OMA that will get some more information, and maybe in a month's time, we can
Yeah.
look at these policies and see what we need to do to move forward with that.
Would considering a fee that the player pays with that,
Based on what I heard a week ago.
Well, I don't, I'm just saying, I know we are signing an insurance waiver, or, I mean, is there anything that is required? I mean, by law, that's what I'm asking, like,
If one of those kids gets hurt, as an example, it's not one of our students, what are the consequences like that?
I think you should probably vet it.
Yeah.
Vet her, and then come back in the future.
That's definitely one of the.
Right, it is.
Alright. So, alright, with that being said, is that all discussion on that? So if that is, we'll go to other.
We have a request for mileage reimbursement of a student with an IEP that needs to be transported to school. And we would do reimbursement to the parent.
Move to approve, please.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on the mileage? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Is that under, is that in under other? Okay. Resignations, retirements, and leave of absence.
We have Jeff Sinks has resigned as the head custodian at Petersburg Elementary. His last day of employment was last week on October 2nd. I have a retirement letter from Larice Chamberlain resigning from her position as the corporation deputy treasurer, and she has noted she worked with the corporation for 29 years. We have a resignation from Christina Potts. Her last day Friday, September 26th. We have a letter of resignation from Alicia Willis resigning from Pike Central Middle High School. Her last day will be October 17th. We have a resignation from Devin Phillips, our high school welding instructor. His last day would be December 20th, so he does intend to complete the semester. We have a resignation from Taylor Schreering, who works at Winslow Elementary, and her last day of work will be October 24th. Then we have two FMLA requests. Yes.
Make a motion, we approve the resignations and medical leave requests.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Appointment.
I have a letter from Mr. Meyer recommending Mindy Wright as the school nurse at Winslow Elementary. I have a letter from Petersburg Elementary recommending fifth grade cheer coach Brooklyn Hart and Caitlin Weisgeiber. I have a recommendation also from Petersburg recommending Jonna Booth to cover a maternity leave that's coming up. I have a letter recommendation from Mrs. Keeker recommending Keena Kirby for homebound instruction for a student. It goes up to 5 hours per week. I have a list of coaching recommendations from Coach Powell. Middle school, 6th grade girls. Justin Drew is asked to be removed as assistant coach. 7th and 8th grade boys recommending Craig Wiseman as 8th grade head coach, full stipend, and Eric Knight as 7th grade coach, full stipend. 6th grade boys, Andrew Houch, head coach, full stipend, and then high school baseball, Dave Chestnut, head coach, full stipend. That's it on the hirings.
So, we're removing Justin Drew.
Yes.
So make a motion that we remove Justin Drew and approve all of the appointments.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Congratulations on the new coaching position. All right. Professional leave.
We have a request from Mr. Meyer to attend the Indiana Association of School Principals Fall Conference in Indianapolis. It's November 23rd to 25th. One night, overnight stay is requested with that. I have a letter from Phil Klaus, Corporation Technology Coordinator, asking to take the following individuals with him to HEC Conference, which is November 5th and 6th. Aaron Meyer, Curtis Parker, Christine Myers, Jody Carell, Candy Meyer, Abigail Vintage, Melissa Pancake, David Kokenauer, Nina Hunt, Jamie Kesson, Stephanie Salid, Phil Klaus. noted there, the conference hotel rooms and other costs are covered by Title II funds. And then I have a leave request from Ryan Beasterville asking to attend the IASP Assistant Principal Conference, which is November 20th and 21st, just before the one Mr. Myers starts.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second to approve professional leave. Any discussion? Not all in favor, raise your hand. Administrative comments.
Miss Pancake will jump right into that.
I jump in there. There's a lot going on, so if I apologize if I forget something. First, before I forget, I want to state my appreciation for the PTO. They go above and beyond. We had our grandparents' day recently, and they're like a force coming in just quickly and decorating, and I mean, they do a lot to make school fun for kids, so I didn't want to forget them tonight. Our Flex Day was productive, so thank you for building those into the calendar. They're so important. Teachers appreciate that time. We had Mrs. Charlotte Beck presenting on explicit instruction. Dana Williams from the co-op presented on behavior interventions and de-escalation, and then teachers met with their grade level teams, including some teachers from Winslow, to collaborate and plan reading and math. So those are really important, and we appreciate that. It's unique to this corporation, I think. We celebrated College Go Week. Mrs. McCutcheon planned a bunch of activities, and it was a spirit week, so we had dress-up days, and we just emphasized the importance of thinking about what college or job you might want to do, so that was good. Junior Achievement is ongoing, and we appreciate our volunteers who are coming in and speaking to our fifth graders. We had a student anti-bullying presentation that you all approved, and that went over really well with the students. It was interactive, and I felt to the point and geared toward the level of understanding for the students. So K2 was appropriate for K2, and then 3-5 emphasized more the bullying aspect of it. I met with the leadership team at Petersburg, and we are going to take baby steps in building a more of a STEM culture. So we're going to fill out the form to the state to become STEM certified. It's a little bit different this year. There are levels, and so they will see where you are, and we know and understand that we're probably at that level 1, but they provide resources, and we can give our teachers professional development to learn some things to become more STEM culture minded. So that's exciting. Let's see. We've appreciated all the prayers from the community and positive vibes going out to support our student who had heart surgery. So I know you all know about that. We wore red in honor of her, and I know some of the events around the community are ongoing. So that just speaks to the culture of the community. Our parent-teacher conferences were well attended and showed the collaboration and teamwork between families and the school. I credit our teachers for spending a lot of time with those and planning those. They did a great job. We've conducted all the fire drills that we're supposed to conduct, and we are getting ready to participate in the Great American Shakeout Drill this week. And then after that, we're going to have a tornado drill. And then we're gearing up for fall break.
Yay.
We're ready. And when we get back, we're going to start our island checkpoints. So, our third graders went to Toyota, which was a phenomenal field trip. And our second graders are going to the library and the post office for like a walking field trip. So, it's been fun. It's been busy, but it's rewarding to see all the excitement.
Thank you. Definitely echo
the busy part, but fun part. I'll start off with parent-teacher conferences. I think that's just one of the biggest opportunities of the year. We paired that with our book fair too, so we had parents coming in going. Nice opportunity to reward some good grades and positive conferences with a book, so that's really paired well. We've got our fall program tomorrow night. That'll be for 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade at Winslow. We've got our spooky stroll coming up at the end of the month. Again, just echoing what Melissa said about PTO. They put a ton of effort into these events and draws in a large portion of the community. Always fun for the kids too. Just wanted to say thank you to you just for all the community support for Officer Paul. Obviously, you guys probably know about the fire at his house, but it's been inspiring to see the community rally around him. Got a spaghetti dinner the 19th at Winslow. A lot of people have already donated or purchased meals for that, so that's been inspiring too in tough times. We had College Go Week this last month. A lot of fun with that. Our October focus is put first things first for our character education. Definitely getting that in mind with our first iLearn checkpoint coming up after fall break. I want to echo about the anti-bullying speaker. I was really excited about how engaged the students were in the assembly, the way they carried it out of the assembly and were able to talk about it. Thought he really translated the topics to their level and connected with them. Really engaged throughout the presentation. Don't see that with presenters all the time, so it really was a positive experience. We've got our Red Ribbon Week coming up as well to promote healthy drug-free choices. Wanted to echo about Flex Day. We had a really good opportunity to get the suicide prevention training in the morning. We had a faculty meeting, and then we actually did vertical PLCs where our K through 2 teachers got to talk to each other about like expectations throughout those grade levels, and then the 3 through 5 teachers did the same thing to be able to kind of build, see where kids are going or where they're coming from. That's helped, especially with a lot of the new reading curriculum that's come in, to see like where the adjustments need to be made going forward. So it's really helpful to have that time to get everybody together in one place. STEM certification, we submitted the letter as well. Got our folder. I will say that little tough to see how much the state revamped it from last year to this year, and just a couple of holes that they've, in classic state fashion, have opened up for us where they are not, end of October, it's due in January, things like that. But the focus for our STEM committee has been that we've done a lot of work. A lot of it is still going to just need to move to different folders. But again, with the kids in mind, we're doing a ton of STEM stuff. That's awesome. Each teacher does a STEM integrated lesson into the gen ed curriculum. We've got computer science that they go to on a weekly basis. We're doing some STEM activities in the library. We've integrated that in. Our 3rd graders, piggybacking off of Petersburg, that trip to Toyota, they went to Toyota this year. Our 5th graders went to Jasper Engines, and our 4th graders are going to go to Sisson Steel, so they can get that our first quarter focuses on manufacturing and engineering, so get some real world experience with that. We also had a chance to take our student council out to the solar project ribbon cutting, which was pretty exciting. They were really excited about that. We had them come in as a guest speaker in the spring, so they got to kind of see the culmination of part of that project. They roped me into speaking at it, which I thought was not going to be a big deal. And then I saw how many people were there and told the kids I was pretty nervous to be in that, but they got a kick out of watching me sweat a little bit, so it was a good time. And then this last week we had fire safety week with the fire trucks on campus. Again, that hands-on learning and kind of STEM approach. A lot of times we don't think about like how much technology and science is involved in some of these fields, and so it's nice to inspire kids to do those practical things. Thank you.
Thank you.
She's not the rookie.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we had a lot going on last month, like Central High School. Homecoming celebrated week September 22nd. It was also College Go Week, so we kind of combined some activities that week. Haley Rocket was named Homecoming Queen. Alyssa McCutcheon was named Princess. Next week, fall break, Mr. Gideon's taking 47 juniors, seniors, and parents to New York City. We're leaving Sunday morning. He's letting me go on that trip, so that's going to be fun. Sports season's wrapping up. Fall sports season's very successful in several of our sports. Weren't able to quite get those sectional champions, but our girls soccer, girls golf qualified for regionals. Boys soccer finished pretty strong, and we got girls and boys cross country this weekend at Jasper. Feel like the girls got a good shot to maybe qualify for regionals in that. Swing choir was at Buffalo Trace. Logan Ziegler's band was at Buffalo Trace, and Callie Craig, one of our students, was named Miss Buffalo Trace. Congratulations, Grandma. Marching band has had a very good year, and they didn't cap it off yet, but they had a good Saturday. They're going to state in a couple weeks. Their community performance is going to be this Saturday. They've won color guard, percussion, drum major all throughout the season at various times. So congratulations to Mr. Bunker and them. They've done very well. National Honor Society is going to have our induction ceremony tomorrow night. We're going to induct 28 new members. We also participated in the United Way Day of Caring in September, where several of our kids went out to Pride's Creek, helped clean up and paint a little bit out there. Mrs. Richardson and Mr. Lamy met with sophomores and juniors earlier this month to discuss work-based learning and some internship opportunities. It's something that we'd like to expand in the future at the high school. We've reached out to Ashley Willis and Jill Heineman, two different people that can maybe get us in touch with some people that we might be able to put some kids next year in some internship areas. I'd like to get some of my kids kind of out and about in the community. We're going to do our haunted hallways this Saturday, October 18th. Trunk or treat's going to be 4:30 to 5:30. Haunted hallways from 6 to 8, and then right in the middle of that, it's going to be our band doing their community performance. So if you come out, you're going to see a lot. Our FCA hosted See You at the Pole on September 24th, and then we're going to have Fields of Faith on October 29th. FFA is going to the national convention late after we get back from fall break. Mr. Klemper's taking 6 students to that in Indianapolis. FCCLA has been very busy. You can talk to Nina about some of the stuff they're doing. They went to an annual leadership rally up in Danville, and then they're going to be composting. You just got to talk to Nina. She's got like a worm farm, and there's a lot going on. So I'll have her send you guys some information about that.
Read her article in the paper.
Was it there?
She writes an article every week.
Well, it should be coming up then. Yeah, but she's pretty proud of this worm farm. So that's Nina. Also, echo what we said about the anti-bullying presentation. It hit our kids really well. Our kids did well. The guy was very good, energetic. He had them. A lot of times it's tough to get high school level kids in situations like that, but this guy grabbed them, and so we were pleased with that. And then we also hosted the parent presentation later on that night. Also today, myself, Ms. Steffendahl, Ms. Richardson met with Ivy Tech, talked to a lady there about maybe looking at expanding some of our dual credit offerings at the high school. We've got a few things that we can do to get more opportunities for our kids, so that's something I'm hoping to put in place, maybe even as early as next semester, but definitely by next year. And we are one of Riley Children's Hospital. We achieved Riley Corporation status because our kids raised over $30,000 last year for Riley. So that's something to hang your hat on. Yeah. So pretty proud of that. So that's the high school.
Thank you.
It's cooking now.
Okay, all right, I'll get that right this time.
We finished up the interviews today for the Petersburg Elementary head custodian, so it should be at the next meeting. Some things we'll discuss. We had a committee on that. Our special ed buses are all in and rolling, so we got them ready to go. Got them inspected and everything. the state, when they came and done the 3-bus school, 3-day training at the Book Center, was very impressed with that. They would like to come back again
Awesome.
next year, so I've applied for all the open dates they give me, throughout the whole year, but the only award you won, so I put in for every one of them. Ashley and everybody was working with me on that, so we did have 16 people at that this year. They only allow 30, so he thought we had a very good turnout for that. So there's probably, I'm gonna say probably 4, maybe 5 that would be candidates to come here. Because people come from the other school districts and stuff. So, and one other thing I got is thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to baseball coach. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He was trying to convince me to go, but I've waited 14 years to be last, so. Anyway, got a long list like everybody else here. We did have our parent-teacher conferences, and I feel like it went well. We had a good turnout with parents. We did do several phone conferences as well this year. We had some parents that wanted to meet with multiple teachers instead of just like their grit teacher or their homeroom teacher. So we did combine some of those so they could have the opportunity to meet with multiple teachers. Our 6th and 8th grade FACS students, they cooked in Miss King's class the day before and prepared all the food and everything, and then Miss King just put it in the oven and got it heated up and stuff. So the teachers had a meal that was prepared by Miss King and her students. So we're going to get them all ice cream, from the staff as an appreciation for that. They did a great job. It was very good. We had our basketball practices. They're already starting, and middle school musical. They've got a lot of kids that are participating. Tickets are already on sale, so I'm sure we'll come close to selling out. If not sell out, we usually do. That's November 7th to the 9th, so that'll be coming up here soon. Our 7th grade volleyball, they were tourney champions that they went to. I had the privilege of watching 7th and 8th grade girls volleyball several times this year. And I was really impressed. Those girls got some talent, and it's good to see. And I look forward to what they're going to do in high school. The 8th grade, Officer Johnson convinced them that if they would win their 8th grade recognition night, that he would let them bedazzle his head, because he had wanted to do that, or they had wanted to do that all year. So they did win. So he got his head bedazzled. I have pictures if anybody wants to see them. I told them to use hot glue. He said that was a no-go, so they just used the little stickers. But I thought hot glue would be better. But anyway, let's see. The anti-bullying, just like everybody else said, that was great. Very much appreciated. Thank you for bringing that in. Miss Haas did, to go along with that, visit all the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade classrooms and present bullying lessons to each of those classes, just to kind of reiterate, the lesson, and have a little bit, smaller group like discussions and stuff like that. So she did do that. I want to say thank you to Christina Potts for her service to the middle school. She's been there for a long time and done a wonderful job, and we will miss her. We wish her the best. Also want to say thank you to Shirley Casilius for her donation to Mason's. I just think that that's so cool, because that was Mr. Mason's sister, and she continues to kind of support our mission there. She's been in a few times to see its progress, and I just think that that's neat. So I do appreciate that. Our checkpoints, I know the elementaries talked about those. We do, our 8th grade is actually doing checkpoints this week. So that's our first grade that's actually is doing it. So they started today and they'll work on that again tomorrow. We've been talking about what our options are going to be for remediating once we get those. It's pretty immediate feedback. So talking about how we're going to split those kids up differently during that grit time to remediate those skills before we do our second test on that first checkpoint. So we've been having discussion on that in our weekly meetings. The mobile dentist is coming the end of this month. I think that is a great thing that the nurses got started a few years ago, and I do appreciate their continued work on that because we have a lot of students that would not get to see the dentist otherwise. So I do appreciate that. Our 8th graders are going to a career fair in Evansville at the end of the month. So they're looking forward to that. We have education students who are visiting our classrooms. Dr. Sandafar, she heads that program up that all the kids are coming over to the middle school side to kind of get their first, observations in, and they've been contacting the teachers to do that. Teachers are looking forward to it, and the kids are too, I think, to come back and see some of their old teachers. Miss Mishler and Candy Meyer have been working with students. Candy has one of our English language learners who speaks little to no English at all. And he's learned quite a bit already, but they've been pairing up and doing lessons with Miss Mishler's high school Spanish class that she has. So that's been neat to see their interactions there. The high school kids come over, teach the kids something, then they work on it, and then they come back and they present how far they came or whatever in what they've learned. And then last but not least, I just have it touched me today. I thought it was really great. We have a lot of awesome staff that go out of their way to do things to help kids, as everybody knows. But we have a student, he's an 8th grader this year, missed school a lot as a 6th grader and as a 7th grader. But he's came a long way. He's made a big change this year. I attribute that to the relationships that have been formed over the last 2 years with teachers, and he feels like he has people that care about him. Today he called and he said he had missed the bus, but he really wanted to come to school. Now that never would have happened even at the beginning of last school year. You know what I mean? Because he would have just been like, okay, yeah, I get to stay home again, But we found a way to get him to school because, Officer Johnson and Mr. Neese went and picked him up. Which, we've done for other kids before, but I just thought it was awesome because that particular kid who never would have done that before did. He called and he asked to come to school. And so I just think that, it's nice for those little positive wins where we can see we are making a difference in kids' lives. So I just wanted to shout out to that kid and also shout out to our staff and the difference that we make. So thank you.
I was just gonna quickly say thanks to Max with all the projects. You can tell all the, there's always a lot going on. There's been a lot of things that have been culminating lately. So shout out, it's valued, it's appreciated. Please, everyone continue as Mrs. Pancake said, the student at Petersburg, please continue to pray for her and story and support that family. We'll do that right now. Also, a thank you to our teachers. In general, it's been a long stretch here before fall break, it always is, but there's so much positive going on in the schools, and as you've heard everyone say, the island checkpoints, I don't know if you knew that they're going to test 3 shorter times now for islands. That's grade 3 through 8 in English and math, and then they'll still have one summited in the spring to cover all those standards. So just add that to their plate, the teachers, and they still take it in stride. They're still doing their best for our students every single day. So it's not easy, but it's appreciated. And then lastly would be Larice. If we had $1 for every question she has answered for one of our employees, then we would have no financial troubles at all. valuable, irreplaceable, but big congratulations on her retirement.
The only couple things, I had messaged you all as a board after the anti-bullying presentation was finished, said there were some resources they would send and I would email it out to parents. We did not get those until this past weekend. So an email did go out to all the families who have been set up with email contact, point of contact through our Apogee program. They did receive those resources today. And then they're probably gonna get another one just after we get back from fall break, reminder about what our e-learning schedule looks like, because you never know when, that first snowflake's gonna fall. So we gotta plan ahead a little bit. And for you guys next month, we do have to talk about bus lease. We've got the second bus lease due to be returned, and are we gonna extend, so on and so forth. So we've got those meetings coming up, and I'll be bringing that to you as well. Appreciate everything the administrators brought to you this evening. There's a lot of things going on in the schools, and everybody's been super busy. So appreciate their time in putting the reports together and doing what they do to help the students.
Board member comments?
Just amazing how fast this first quarter has went. I mean, crazy.
I certainly appreciate the administrators being here. I get excited when I talk about my kids, our kids. We are one, and I think that's a great thing. And honestly, my kids are so now what's going out there, but now I do. I have a little bit of understanding, so certainly appreciate that. Mrs. Pancake, in case you need help with pancakes from Mrs. Pancake, let me know. I'm very experienced eating pancakes, so I need help. But I think that's a great thing you're doing, by the way. So keep up the good work. Very proud of you guys.
I want to say Grandparents' Day was great. We had that, and we had our book fair also that week, and I got a chance to work with the book fair, and I always enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. And I also got to go to the bullying program for the K-2, and it was very good for that age. So I hope we get it back. I don't know if a repeat would be great, right? Maybe it would be.
Sometimes
Yeah.
every year. and bring it
Yeah,
back,
maybe he changes it up a little bit, but I was very pleased with it.
but You did a good job.
The only thing I have is, they didn't put in the bully reports or the grim reports from the principals. The high school, middle school, there were 59 for the middle school and 50 reports for the high school for a 3-week period. That's only going to pull back for 4 weeks. I appreciate you guys letting us know that you're, at least tell us the numbers, so I know you know what's going on. We promise that. We need to keep that going, please.
Nothing else. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is a second to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hand. Meeting adjourned.
I had 0. That's why I didn't say it. I didn't have any last month.
No, we only get for high school.
Yeah.
I'll be there.